The Uganda People's Defence Force Engineering Brigade is the construction arm of the Army with a mandate to carry out strategic infrastructural development during operations and peace times.
Yes, what I've realized, because every time they give us projects for pricing, whether this one or any other projects in the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education, normally there's an engineer's estimate. And when we press and take back our documents for review and approval, they normally tell us that our prices are very okay. When you look at there was a health center for in Entebbe. When we pressed, we saved for them more money to construct another ward. So they wrote the ministry and said, we saved the money, and so we need another ward. Let the engineers brigade also construct for us a ward. That was Entebbe, Kachumbari, the same thing. Now here, we have saved a lot of money. And because for us, we don't include VAT when we are pricing. Much as we pay VAT in the factories where we buy materials, but we don't include it here on pricing as a component. And then too, we are not looking at profits. And we are not a company. This is a government institution. We earn salary, we earn allowances. I earn allowances as an engineer and salary as a soldier. And so when you have all those coupled together and you price, the price must go very low. And we also have equipment. When the directive came out, the president gave us equipment worth 19 billion. And once they gave us the equipment, it means even when I'm pricing, I'm mindful that I'm not going to hire a specific equipment. And so normally our rates are very low. And I've realized that we have been making a saving of between 30 to 50% of the total project cost. Where a project like under the Office of the Prime Minister, we are doing Health Center 3 at 1.07 billion. 1.04 to 1.07 billion, depending on the location. Like place called Luangara in Toroko, that was a dangerous site. That one we spent 1.07 billion. Then a place which is in Nakasongora, a little bit fair, we've spent 1.04 billion. A place called there's a place in Morata, Narboyo, spent 1.05 billion. So 1.07 was the upper side of our costs. And when we compare with the private contractors, I've been seeing Health Center 3, they go up to 1.9 billion, 1.7 billion. So there's a saving of about minimum 500 million. And so if we worked on, say, 5 Health Center 3s under the Office of the Prime Minister, we saved a minimum of 3 billion. Minimum 3 billion. Here we saved a lot of money. Yes, that one is known. Even the president talked about it. We saved a lot of money. And by the way, once Ugandans look at what we do and they believe in us and they accept us that we can do wonders, then I would want us to transit to doing very big projects. These so-called complex mega projects. Because that's where I've realized the country is spending a lot of money. These so-called express highways, these dams, these roads, these big structures. If Engineers Brigade takes them on and they have a consultant, because the government can have a consultant to supervise Engineers Brigade. Once you have a consultant supervising Engineers Brigade and Engineers Brigade are the ones executing, then we can do any project, whether it is a railway, whether it is road, whether it is a dam, whether it is an airport like this, we should be able to do these projects. You can imagine, you remember 5,600 years ago, who constructed the pyramids in Egypt. But up to now, they are still standing strong. And at that time, we did not have universities. We did not have schools. I don't think we had engineers. We did not have. But because engineering is a skill, it is an art, once you zero on it and do the right thing, then it will stand the test of time. And so I want at some stage we transit from very small projects to very big projects where there is a lot of saving of government money. And now when we save a lot of government money, then realization of the vision 2040 can be realized at an early stage, because we have been exporting our money. People come here, and then what we call financial drain. They do a project at 10 billion. Out of 10 billion, 7 billion goes out of the country, maybe 3 stays behind. But if Engineers Brigade is empowered, and other government agencies, and you do these jobs ourselves, then it can be reversed. But out of 100%, 70% stays in the country, and then maybe 30% goes to the importation, and so on and so forth. Ugandans, we can be our own investors. The Engineers Brigade should now be looked at as an investor in infrastructure development, but an investor that is using government money to produce government work. They are investing in knowledge, investing in equipment, investing in time, investing in resources, and managing them properly on behalf of government.
Due to public demand over shoddy work done by private contractors, the UPDF Civil Engineering Department stepped in at the request of the Commander-in-Chief, President Yoweri Museveni, to take on the challenge of engineering construction works in the country.
Then the other challenge was about imported materials. Imported materials, because of the economic crunch, the global economic crunch, we no longer have materials already manufactured. So you place an order and then pay, and then the other factories can manufacture for you. And such materials normally have a long lead time. So it affected us that in case you wanted industrial materials which are imported, you had to wait for between 3 to 4 months. But of course that was not a major challenge, because we had planned very well. We had a work plan which we had agreed upon, and a procurement plan which had catered for all that. So that challenge, we catered for it and overcame it in time. We had the challenge of course, the timings for NAM and G77. For us, our initial contract was to finish the work in a period we had been given. But along the way, this airport and this particular project was identified as one of the key projects that must be completed and be used during NAM and G77 summits. And so there we had to bear the pressure. Now the element of pressure came in, and that's why now real soldiering was seen to be employed on this project. We started working in phases and working 24/7, working at night, working during the day. And once we did that, and everybody was on our side, we worked as a team, then we were able to complete the project, the first phase, before NAM. And by the time NAM came in, the facility was ready and it was used. So the pressure of timelines towards completion came in, but also overcame it by employing a force that was adequate enough, and also working in phases, working both day and night.
The President directed that Uganda's People's Defense Force Engineering Brigade undertakes government construction works, starting with the Ministry of Health and Education. Museveni expressed frustration with the red tape and bureaucratic tendencies that often delay key government projects. President Museveni also directed ministries, government departments, agencies and institutions to let the UPDF Engineering Brigade handle construction contracts to save government from spending a lot of money, shoddy work, and unnecessary delays.
So that means that the rating is much higher. But what I also can assure you is that there is a team that came here to inspect. I think it is International Civil Aviation Authority. It's an organization that inspects all the international airports all over the world. When they came and inspected us, what I was told by Civil Aviation Authority leadership is that they scored higher. So basing on those two, what I hear people say, and what I also heard that the International Civil Aviation Authority organization that was in charge of inspection said, then I can also rate this work highly. Moreover, we did what we did within what was stipulated in the designs and the BOQs. We never deviated from that. So it must produce, I think, what is required to the international standards. But you can also award your own marks, because I can't award myself marks. Of course, when the issue of NAM came in, I told you we prepared adequately. We had to bring in more workforce. Then we had to revisit the work program. We had to revisit our procurement plan so that we fit within the time of completion before NAM. And once we did that, and we stuck to that, we had to achieve what we achieved. So we improved, we increased on the number of personnel, we worked in shifts, we got all the requirements, all the approvals on time, all submittals were on time, and all the materials that were supposed to be imported were also imported on time. Yes. After a week from now, we did not relax. You see, soldiering, they teach you to even live in the extremes. Where you think you are very tired, that's when they actually add you more tasks. So when we are about to conclude this, then there was another project which was very, very equally important for NAM and C77. That was the Women and Children Neonatal Hospital at Murago. So we also had to quickly go in there and fix it so it can be used by spouses and the female guests during NAM. So we never had a leave. Soldiers don't take leave. When you take a leave, somebody else must be working behind. And since that time, we have continued to work, and now we're on second phase, because this project was in two phases. The first phase, which we completed, and then the second phase, which we are on now, and most likely we are finishing it end of this year in December. First of all, I want to call on Ugandans to understand that Engineers Brigade is composed of their children. Engineers Brigade is composed of people from all over the country, Uganda. In other words, when they hear of Engineers Brigade, they should they should be knowing that they are listening to their own children. Two, I want them to trust us and believe in us and know that we can do any project as long as there is proper documentation for the project. If there are drawings, approved BOQs, approved specifications, approved work plan, approved work implementation plan, procurement plan, we have a consultant, then you be rest assured that Engineers Brigade can do any project of whatever magnitude. What we need is only to be organized and the country to believe in its own. We should be promoting Bubu. Buy Uganda, build Uganda. Use your own force, build Uganda. Let's save money for this country. Because we spend a lot of money, there is a lot of financial drain in this country.
Currently, Uganda People's Defense Forces is carrying out 129 projects. The Engineers Brigade has already been assigned mega projects including the new Entebbe International Terminal and Nambole Stadium among other projects.
Yeah, people would wonder and they want to know what is the capacity of the engineers brigade. Currently, we are 3,624 people in the engineers brigade, amongst whom we have 120 civil engineers, and then the other types of engineers, because engineers brigade is too much construction related. So most of the engineers are civil engineers, but we also have 12 electrical engineers. We have 8 quantity surveyors, 15 land surveyors, and then we have several number of economists. We have technicians, those who have diplomas. Then we have technologists, those who have higher diplomas. Then we have the artisans, those who have certificates. And so the total capacity is what I've mentioned. Our intention is that by 2026, we should be about 6,000 people. Now, if we are 6,000, then we can transit from a brigade to a division, so that now we can even take over very many other projects. Because now, when the president gave a directive on 1st July 2021, we are only 2,000. After the directive 2 years later, we are 4,000. We are closing in 4,000. So we expect in the next 2 years to be 6,000. So by 2026, we want to be 6,000. Then the government did us a good job. They gave us equipment worth 19 billion. But we want more equipment, because you realize now we are going to be at a level of competing with these big companies in the country. We want to start competing with CCCC. So we need equipment. If we can get equipment worth 69 billion, then we become the biggest construction company in the country. There wouldn't be any other construction company bigger than us. Even now where we are, there is no construction company in the country which has 3,600 people who are permanently there. No. They only bring in people when it is time for work. After work, but for us, they are always there. Where you want, when you want them, you can always mobilize them. So people, I want Ugandans to understand that now, ever since when the directive was given by the president, we have acquired equipment. We acquired that equipment actually through a supplementary budget, which was approved by the Parliament of Uganda. And I want to thank the Parliament of Uganda, because once they approved that, then we immediately acquired the equipment. And I want to call upon the Parliament of Uganda again, in case they send another supplementary or any requirement for us to acquire the equipment, I request them to approve it. So that now, once we have the equipment, then we can favorably compete with any other construction company in the country. We also want to keep on recruiting more professionals. We want economists, we want lawyers, we want, so that it is a full-fledged. We have already those people who want to keep on recruiting. I want to thank the Army leadership. When the president gave a directive, then the CDF also directed that every recruitment, we should have 400 slots. So every time there is a recruitment, a general recruitment, engineers brigade has 400 slots. And those 400 slots, we look at the deficits we have. How many engineers do we need in this recruitment? How many artisans do we need? Which category of artisans? And then we recruit them. So I want to thank UPDF leadership and also the CDF for that wise decision of having us brought on board and given slots. And that's why I was saying that we are looking at making 6,000, because I know in the subsequent recruitment, then we shall also be having again more slots. So our target is like 6,000, like I said. I want to thank the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, because when the directive came out, everybody was skeptical, including our own the Ministry of Defense. They were looking at the magnitude and the volume of work to be done, and then looking at the soldiers who have been in barracks, who have not been out there to work with the civilians, and everybody was worried. But along the way, they stood by us, and they guided us, coordinated whatever they had to coordinate. They financed us, they released funds on time, and we are now a force to reckon with. The Engineers Brigade, whether you like it or not, we are here and we are to show you much more. More is to come. Expect more and better things to come from Engineers Brigade. I want to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Commander-in-Chief, because had it not been him to issue this directive on the 1st of July 2021, none of you would be knowing Engineers Brigade. Engineers Brigade has been there. It is as old as 1986. Yeah, it was born in 1986. As unit immediately when the government took over, then the engineers who were then in the bush started the unit, the construction unit. So it has been there, but very few people knew about it, not until we came out because of, again, the presidential directive. So I want to thank the president that he has helped us to showcase to Ugandans that indeed we can do wonders, and we are yet to do more. Yes, world over, army is lead, and for us in the Engineers Brigade, we have been doing these things, but unfortunately going unnoticed. When there were landslides in Bududa, Engineers Brigade was called in there, where the people have been resettling people in Burambuli, building for them, putting for them clean water. So we have been involved. And now we also want to, as we grow, we want also to have a unit in disaster management. We have been working under the office of the Prime Minister in bombs, the detonation of bombs in northern Uganda, demining, and all that, all that under disaster management. So we have been involved in several engagements with the government, including if there are floods, we come in, we have equipment. In 2021 again, when there were floods, when there were floating SADs at the Nairo Bridge, Engineers Brigade was there, personnel was there, and we saved the government of about 2.something billion. There's a contractor who wanted about 2.8 billion to remove the floating SADs. But Engineers Brigade, together with the NEC and Ministry of Works, we came up with a strong team. We did that work at less than 500 million. So we saved 2.3 billion. And we did that work within less than a month. We did it, I think, in 3 weeks. And that was saved. So you can imagine saving 2.3 billion in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. So we have been doing several things, but going unnoticed. But now it's time people get to understand what we do. Then they start critiquing us. We want people to look at what we do. They tell us where we have, then we keep on improving.
Ever since the Updf Engineering Brigade was brought on board to undertake government projects, government has saved almost 50 billion shillings that was previously lost through fake procurement processes and time consumed through offering of kickbacks.
And the last message to Ugandans is that we are here. Support us. All government institutions support us. If it is Parliament, support us. Auditor General, Attorney General, local governments, ministries, departments, support us. Give us jobs. Give us jobs, and you will not regret. But I want to thank everybody who has helped us in achieving what we have so far achieved. Like I said, I will not get tired of mentioning His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. He's the main person behind this. I want to thank the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Uganda. She's the one who gave us this project in particular. She insisted and said, no, even if the other one is not in the directive of education and health, but the way I've seen these engineers can do this project, and she She insisted and they gave us the job. Like, I want to thank the Parliament of Uganda, I want to thank the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, I want to thank UPDF, Fraternity, I want to thank Engineers Brigade. I want to thank the team I work with, the engineers I work with, because when you work as a team, you achieve more. And so I also pray that we continue working as a team. We continue working for our motherland Uganda. We save more and more resources for our motherland Uganda, so that we can also realize the dream we all dream of achieving a middle status, so that our people, like the president normally says, they should have something for the stomach, but also something for the pocket. And Uganda can achieve this if it employs Engineers Brigade to undertake the big infrastructure development projects, so that a lot of money can be saved. Thank you.
This is the first time Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade is undertaking major infrastructural development projects of government.